welcome back to the channel. Now, I've been teasing this little van here, you know the size of the thing. I've been teasing this Overlander build for a little while now, and today's the day that I start recording it. Now, we've had it in for a few months, a month or so, ordering parts, planning, liaising with the customer. We've had to sit it with the door open for a few weeks to allow the fumes from the smell from the GRP body to escape, because when you open the door it gave you a headache straight away. So we've had to leave that open, let that all settle, and now it's time to actually start doing some work on it. It's going to be slow progress at first because we decided we're going to put underfloor heating in it, so we are going to do that first. Then we've got to, so I'll be doing that today, and then I've got to wait till next week for the flooring guys to come to lay the flooring down, and then we can start taping off, planning that kind of thing, and planning the electrics over at Powerhouse off Grid Limited, and then anyway I'm going to show you the build process in vlogs, something that we've not done in a long time, doing vlogs of a build process. So I don't know how many parts it'll be, I don't know how frequent the videos will be, but this is the first installment of this massive Overlander build. Now, the customer's got tons of plans, all done on CAD. It's not my usual way of working, I'm the least technical person ever, and so I'm going to make that work. And the first thing, like I said, is underfloor heating. We're going to glue that down, let that set, and then hopefully on Tuesday the flooring guys can do that. We've got windows to fit, we've got aircon to fit. It's a huge spec, 24 volt electrical system, over 1,000 watts of solar, I think 1,200 watts of solar on the roof, skylights, windows, safari hatches, playstations, seating areas. Just, it's going to be a bloody good build. So anyway, I'm going to take you inside and then we'll take it from there. So the internal diameter, the internal space in here is 5.4 meters long by 2.3 meters wide, and I believe it's 2 meters high. So the headroom actually isn't that much. In fact, it's not really much bigger than a standard camper van. So we have to bear that in mind, which is why I'm going to glue the underfloor heating to the floor and then put the finished floor directly on top of that. In a normal camper van, we would do a plyboard, we'd insulate, plyboard layer, underfloor heating, and then the flooring finish. But we can't do that here because we need to, the customer's taller than me as well. The customer I think is 6'2", so there's only about 4 inches above my head, so we need to be very careful about this head height. A few other things that are different to normal vans that we build are the fact that this van doesn't need insulating because it's already done, doesn't need battening, and doesn't need a wall finish because the walls are already done. The box itself is 50mm thick insulation with a GRP layer on the inside and outside. Plans for this build, come here, I'll show you. First of all, I just want to show you my ingenuity. Usually we screw these strip lights to the ceiling for work lights until we actually put the electrics in and put the proper lights in. However, we don't want to screw to this GRP because we don't want to ruin it. So I've used my Starlink suction cup mounts to just bracket in there. And then, because I didn't want to be tripping over the cable, I used this glass carrying suction cup thing to pull the cable across the ceiling and down there to this power bank. Okay, so the door is already in, and we have a safari hatch there which is going to go, I believe, on this side of the bed. We've got this 45-degree cutout thing that's the overhang at the back of the vehicle. So this is the back where this overhang is here. We've got this 45-degree angle to deal with, so the bed is going to go at this side and it will be raised up somewhat, and then underneath that will be electrics and storage, and I believe a washing machine is going in there at some point. And then moving around this side, coming towards the side where the door is, we're going to have a dinette, seating area with 2 double seats and a table. And then on the other side, we've got kitchen, shower over towards the front of the vehicle, and then tons of storage and shelving and all that kind of thing, and then lots of other goodies that we're going to add in. So the original plan didn't include underfloor heating, but this is going to go around the world, and they might go to some colder climates, and even if they're just chilling in England, literally chilling in England, given that it's stupid temperatures at the minute, it's just a nice addition. And to be fair, the cost of it, it's on the floor already. I haven't stuck it down, I've just laid it out because this only arrived yesterday. We ordered it from Germany around Christmas time, so we've been waiting for that to arrive. So this stuff, we've never used it before, but I just want to introduce you to it. So this is a positive and a negative, and then all these elements that run backwards and forwards and cross over each other. And it's a 24 volt system, which is what the rest of this van is going to be. But look how thin it is. It's literally paper thin, which is why I decided not to put a ply layer over the top of it and then put the floor finish. I spoke to the flooring guys, and they say that the adhesive they use is heat resistant, and also the flooring itself is heat resistant. And also we have this thermostat controller thing, which comes with, well, it doesn't come with the kit, you buy it additional, but it's from the same website. But we are going to try not to use this. So there's a few things I was saying about additional things that we're going to add into this van that are little treats. We are going to be adding things like portable control monitors, so you can have a tablet in your hand and you can control things, or you can check your water levels and battery levels and use the Victron app and all that kind of thing on there, as well as a physical monitor somewhere in the build as well. But we want to try and integrate this system into that. We're not sure if it can be done yet, but hopefully, because the thing is, this is quite deep as well, and we don't really want to be making do with something. It just doesn't, I don't think that that's going to fit the aesthetic. However, if we can't do that, if we can't use the tablet idea that we've got, then we will probably hide this somewhere, because it's not that bad looking, but it's just not brilliant. I'll try and tell you where we got things from as well, just to keep you sort of in the loop of that. This is from a company called My Heat, M-I. Oh, that's an I, not a flame. That's in real life. My Heat, which is Auric, Germany, and the website is myheat.de. So that's the plan. The kit that we've bought is, I think it's 5 meters long by 300mm wide, and I've bought 2 of them. Again, we've never used this kit before, so I was buying it a little bit blind. However, it fits down the centre, and the idea is that we are only going to put it down the centre because we don't need the flooring underneath the cupboards to be heated. We don't need the flooring underneath there's a seating area to be heated. We don't need the flooring underneath the shower to be heated. And again, this was a bonus. It was an additional thing that we're trying to do. And also, we don't want to, even though this is going to have a massive amount of power with all the solar and I think it's 1400 watts charging from the DC to DC and all that. It's having 5000 multi-plus as well, so you can charge him from hookup and all that business. So there's plenty of ways of charging this. Huge battery setup. So I decided on doing 2 widths of it. So like I said, the 300 wide, so we've got 600. My plan, I've been thinking about this all night last night. What my plan is, today I'm going to, let me just shut this door a little bit. Although you might not be able to hear it anyway. I'll just shut the door so the rest of the workshop noise. Oh, I hope I can get out of there. I've not actually checked that door opens from the inside. Believe it or not, although this has been here a month or 2, yesterday was the first day I've actually been inside the body, because we had to make some custom sized steps to be able to get into it because it's so high. So it was my first day back yesterday after a holiday. I got straight on making those steps, and I'm straight in here, straight fitting in underfloor heating. So the plan is, I'm going to measure a line from the center. So from each side, I'm going to measure a line down the center, all the way down. And then I'm going to measure 50 mil either side of that line. So that will leave a 100 mil gap. So similar to this. Let's say, let's just do it. So roughly 100 mil gap down the middle. So that would widen the space that is heated. This gap in the middle will catch the heat anyway between those two as the floor heats up anyway. And then, so that will give more flooring space to be heated. Then I'm going to draw it all on, remove the underfloor heating, and then put the adhesive down, a thin layer of adhesive as well, because I don't, again, this is paper thin, but I don't want to give any more thickness underneath the flooring finish, because bear in mind that's going to go all the way over there. I don't want it to bump up like that. So that's the plan. So we're going to get on with that, put the adhesive down, stick that flooring down, and then leave it for 4 days, and then the flooring guys are going to come in on Tuesday and lay the flooring. As I've already said, I'm kind of repeating myself a little bit, once the flooring is all done, that will be the flooring finish done as a finished floor. We're then going to put a protective layer down on all the floor so that we can then get back in it, walk around on it, just in case we drop tools or anything, or moving the fridge around, we don't scratch the floor and all that kind of thing. The flooring we use is the LVT style flooring. It's got a guarantee on it, it's replaceable and all that. We may have to key this floor a little bit with a bit of sandpaper just to help the adhesive stick as well. But that again is an experiment. The flooring guys that we use haven't ever stuck to GRP before. It shouldn't be a problem. And again, the other thing is, most of this floor, although we're finishing the entire floor, most of this floor is going to be hidden anyway. Sometimes when we build vans, we'll build the van, then do the flooring afterwards, so then there's only a small amount of flooring to be done. However, it's much easier for the flooring guys. We get it a little bit cheaper, believe it or not, because we're using more flooring. We actually get it cheaper if they do it at this stage, because they have less cuts to do. It doesn't take them as long. They're using full pieces. They're not going under cupboards and round seats and all that kind of thing. So we're going to do that stage first. Also in the process of this build, which might be next week, we're going to sit down with Bruce and do some electrical talking, planning and buying to start putting the electrics in. The electrics are going under the bed, like I've already said, but we need to plan cable routing. We need to plan where the electric hookup's going to be. We need to do all that now so that it's all prepared for later on when the electrics actually go in. On electrics, also another issue that we have is that we cannot drill into this, which means running cables is a problem, because usually in a van we run the cables and then we put the wall finish on afterwards. Or we're able to run cables through voids and things like that. We can't just make, because this is insulation, we can't just jimmy into that. We've got to do it properly. So that means we've got to get creative with the way we do it. And how we're going to do that is, for example, if the kitchen is here, we're going to have the bed end, let's say here, and then the kitchen will be here. So we can run cable from where the electrical setup is going to be, behind the cupboard, and then when we need to get up, we're going to build a void off the wall and then have the kitchen splashback built off the wall slightly, so that then we can put things like plug sockets in and the monitors in and all that. So the wall will be slightly brought out, only maybe 25 mil, so an inch or so if you use inches, about 25 mil off the wall. So that will give us a void so we can run cables, and then also there'll be overhead storage up here so we can run cables up to that, so then we can run cable for the underlights and things like that. Ceiling is, running strip lights in the ceiling is going to be a bit difficult as well. However, what I think I'm going to do is do the very similar thing that I've just said about the kitchen, where we build it off the wall slightly, but build this entire wall off the wall, again, maybe 25 mil. And then we'll make that wall a bit of a feature, because it's where the bed's going to be. We may add some colour or a design or a pattern onto that wall. My arms are hurting from just holding this camera up. may have some sort of design on there, but again, we can build that off the wall. So that means we can run cables up to the ceiling, and then run all the lights and power to the aircon and things like that. There's a lot to plan. There's a ton of. One day, one vlog, I will go through the full spec list and all that. But anyway, hopefully we're setting a new sort of way of doing vlogs. We've tried a few different things and we're going to continue. Lee is currently recording his van in time lapse from start to finish. So we'll do one full video from start to finish on that van. We're doing vlogs of everything that's happening in general over at Coalition. And then this van will have vlogs done. I don't say they're going to be weekly, but maybe fortnightly or something like that, as and when we make progress on this van. There's no mad time scale on this van. The customer is sort of happy as and when. However, we've learned lessons from having as and when vans because they never seem to find an end date. So I'm cracking on with this one straight away. We may have other people working on it. Like I say, Powerhouse Off Grid are going to be working on it, so Bruce will be working on it, Ben may be working on it, Lee's definitely going to be working on it at some point, and then the other lads will be in and out doing bits and bobs. We've got to plan out windows and things like that, but what I think my plan is going to be to build all the furniture first and then do the windows. That may come to bite me in the arse at some point. However, I would rather build the furniture and then put the windows in so that the windows can be central to that furniture, rather than putting a window in and then, for example, something might be a bit thicker, or we might have to move something up 20 mil, so then that window won't be central to that feature, that unit, that part of the van. So things like that are going to be done after. Potentially same with aircon and the skylight. So the aircon is going about here, which is maybe like a third of the way down the van, and then there's going to be a skylight just back of the aircon. So there's going to be an aircon and a skylight next to each other. So the skylight is bang over the bed, the aircon is a bit further down. We may wait for that because the customer is very specific about what solar panels he wants as well, which are currently on order. It's probably going to be better for us to put all the solar on first, get all that bonded down, and then cut the space out for the aircon and the skylight. Some people are going to say that's the wrong way of doing it, or the way that I'm talking about other things that we're doing, maybe the wrong way of doing it. The reason why I'm doing it the way I am doing things is because of experience of doing things on other vans. And this one, there's no room for error really on this one because it's jam-packed full of cool features. Hopefully you've enjoyed this vlog, hopefully it's been informative, and hopefully you can subscribe and like the video and share it if you want to, and turn your notifications on for when we do more vlogs of this van, because it's going to be an epic journey, I promise you. In fact, I just want to show you one more thing. So in experimenting with things as we are on this journey of the business that we're in, we try new things from time to time, and this is a new thing that we're going to try. So we've got this, it's not called MDF, it's called something else, and I can't remember the bloody name of it from off the top of my head, but it is sort of a coloured MDF, which is entirely waterproof all the way through, and it's coloured all the way through. It's like pressure coloured or something. This is what we're going to use for the cupboard doors. This is currently 18 mil, however we're going to use a thinner one for the doors. This was just an experiment. We got it from the joiner across the yard from where we are, but we're going to do this topology pattern in it, and hopefully I can show you it. So let's just pretend that these are two cupboard doors, yeah? Again, just this is just experiment, and they don't line up. But I hand routed this topology pattern in, and it adds a bit of texture, a bit of depth, and also it's a bit eye-catching and all that. So I believe that is what all the cupboards are going to look like. So even the lower cupboard doors, the high-up cupboard doors, that's going to be a general theme, and also brown as well. It comes in various colours. It comes in some really bright colours actually. However, the customer isn't the bright colour kind of. The customers, sorry, aren't the bright colour kind of people. They want things to be a bit more, moody and what's it called, like classy and that. So they're going to be, that's what they're going to look like. So with that pattern's going to be throughout. And again, that's done by hand. So that's the first time I've ever done it. We don't use CNC machines here. Everything's cut by hand. Everything's done by hand. Everything's bespoke, which is what one of our unique selling points is. I drew it on roughly, I had an idea what a topology pattern looked like. Drew it on roughly by hand with a white pen. And then set the router at 1.5 mil, I think it was. But that may vary when we come to actually finish it, but about 1.5 mil. And then just went along it with the router by hand, followed the white lines, and that's what it came out like. And actually, I don't get impressed by much, to be honest, at my age, but that I was really impressed by. So that, and then I showed the customer loved it. So anyway, I'm going to get this underfloor heating down. By the time the next vlog comes, hopefully that will be stuck down, and I'll film some of the flooring guys doing the flooring, and then hopefully things will look a little bit different in here by the time you see it again. Anyway, bye Felicia.